Well, they are constantly causing headaches for Spokane drivers, those nasty potholes.
And with the continuous freeze-thaw cycle here in the inland northwest, they are constantly popping up. But the city says it has a plan to tackle them. Good evening and thank you for joining us for Crampton News at 6. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here. So pothole season is always a struggle for Spokane drivers, but as our population continues to grow, the toll on area roads is also getting worse. Tonight, as part of our week-long Boomtown coverage, I learned about the city's efforts to try and stay ahead of the curve. No driver is safe, and every driver understands the pain.
Like they're everywhere.
Of Spokane's potholes.
Shakes the entire truck, and it's like, oh, did I just pop a tire?
It's not getting any better. In fact, the streets are just getting worse and worse.
But as traffic builds up from a booming population, so does the road damage after a rough winter season.
We're excited to see growth, but it takes effort to expand our infrastructure to meet that growth.
The Spokane Public Works Department keeps track of 2,200 lane miles on city streets, about a third of them on main arterials, which see the most traffic and ultimately the most potholes. Oftentimes in the very same spot.
So cold mix was an okay solution in the wintertime, but lots of times would pop back up. So we have equipment now that heats the cold mix, which gives us a much better seal.
Is there any way to really even catch up on all the city streets, or is it kind of a perpetual catch-up cycle?
It's a perpetual need, right? So we're looking at our system constantly.
And with Spokane's perpetual freeze-thaw cycle, we know this problem of potholes isn't going away anytime soon. That's why the city says now more than ever, they're focused on prevention and sometimes even changing the way these roads are built from the bottom up.
We use more base material. We make sure that we're compacting better. We make sure that we're using enough asphalt as our layers so that we can do a nice grind and overlay on a schedule.
And street maintenance projects are a big part of the city's ongoing 6-year plan. In just 4 years, from 2015 to 2019, the city spent more than $100 million on capital street construction projects like Monroe or Sprague, plus another $3 to $6 million each of those years in maintaining Spokane's busiest arterials with the heaviest traffic. This map shows traffic flow on the city's main streets, and take a look. The number of cars just along this stretch of division, for example, is steadily going up every single year. 44,000 cars a day in 2017, 46,000 by 2018, and 47,000 cars a day in 2019. During the pandemic, the city stopped tracking that data, but when it starts back up again, officials fully expect those numbers will show even more growth. Which is why they say maintenance will be key moving forward.
We're really scheduling out that maintenance. We say after so many years, we're going to crack seal. After so many years, we're going to do a grind and overlay. After so many years, we're going to reevaluate. Could it take another grind, or do we need to rebuild that street again?
Spokane crews have already filled 850 potholes so far this season, but they're also turning to technology in the ongoing fight against them.
We used to send out groups of college students to record the defects in the streets. For a while they did it on paper, and then they did it on handhelds. And now we actually contract with a company that can drive a vehicle down the street and be able to capture the defects in the streets. So where we have lots of potholes is an opportunity to make a bigger repair and avoid our crews having to go out and making those same pothole repairs every year.
And how much improvement can people really truly expect here over the next 4, 5, 6 years?
And we're getting to about 15 lane miles a year. That's significant. It's making a change that people will start to notice as we do those 15 miles pretty consistently every year.
Feist says it all adds up to a goal of working smarter, not harder, as the city continues to grow.
We think of streets as being something that has to be repaired all the time, but if we're successful, the individual streets that we rebuilt do not need repairs all the time. Growth pushes us to be more creative, to be more innovative, and to keep going in with our plans.
Few things fire at least our viewers up more than potholes and snow removal, right?
They go hand in hand.
So if we can improve those things, that's a good start,
Absolutely.
right? My goodness. By the way, if you'd like our latest Boomtown story sent directly to your phone, just text the word Boomtown to 509-448-2000.
In other news tonight, 3 suspects on the run in connection to a murder in Stevens County have now been captured in Arizona.
Brenda Rasmussen and her 2 sons, Danny and Andrew Jones, are accused of murdering Brenda's husband, Jerry Rasmussen. Brenda initially reported that Jerry was missing to police back in September of 2021. And during an investigation in December, police brought a cadaver dog to their property, and that dog alerted on a newly built shed. When searched, police found Rasmussen's body buried under the shed with a gunshot wound to the head.
Now, all 3 suspects fled Washington, and warrants were issued in connection to that murder, which could mean investigators don't know exactly who pulled the trigger. Now, in January, U.S. Marshals learned that the 3 were hiding in the Mojave County of Arizona. The 3 were arrested on Monday. They are now awaiting extradition back to Washington.
Well, you may notice the Brown Street Viaduct looks a bit different right now. It's an effort to reduce the number of people camping there and blocking pedestrian traffic. The city installed fencing on the sidewalks as a health and safety measure.
Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward says it will help keep the sidewalks clean and clear, but some people worry the fencing will then create another problem. KREM 2's Janelle Finch has more on what people who use that viaduct are saying tonight.
Residents I spoke to say the fence limits trash and waste in the area. This is the city's first fence, and Mayor Woodward says if the results are successful, the city could see more fencing. Residents say the Brown Street Viaduct was trashed almost daily.
There was always people sleeping there or doing their drugs.
The city solution? A 36-inch wide fence.
Trashy, people would pee, it stunk all the time. You see people down there shooting needles, doing meth.
The installation comes on the heels of a survey where downtown business and property owners say they're facing increased security challenges that are affecting the safety of their employees and customers. Mayor Woodward says the fence will decrease how often crews need to go out and clean up.
We thought that fencing would make it easier for us to be able to keep it clean, but also preserve the pedestrian ability under that viaduct.
According to Mayor Woodward, the fencing is ADA compliant. At the current width, the fence should allow people in wheelchairs to pass, but the bolts in the ground present a challenge.
The way they got it bolted down, them plates, it's cutting holes in my tire. It's hard to get through, and you only got it each on each side, and if I got stuff hanging up on the side, it stops me.
Woodward says the viaduct serves all of Spokane, and the community should focus on getting those who sleep there and on the streets into shelters.
When we have space for people in our shelters, as a community, we shouldn't want them to have to sleep on the street or under viaducts. We need to make an effort to get them to shelters and the services that we have.
A city press release says a search is underway for a temporary location for shelter needs related to weather, smoke, and other considerations. Woodward says there are several options for those looking for shelter. The city says before this installation, they added more co-ed shelter spaces, more space for women and families, a shelter for young adults, and extended contracts on seasonal shelters. Janelle Finch, KREM 2 News.
Mask mandate no more, at least for outdoor venues. Governor Jay Inslee announced Washington's outdoor mask mandate will be lifted next Friday.
As for the inside mask mandate, the governor says that update will likely come next week. The outdoor mandate was put in place for events with 500 or more people. So when it warms up, outdoor concerts, football games, those are the types of places where we need to wear a mask anymore. The decision comes as the state is starting to see a decline of COVID cases as well as hospitalizations.
Now we have projections of a very steep decline leading to, we hope, extremely low numbers by the first week in March. We believe this wave has gone up like a rocket and it's going to come down like a rock.
Well, the governor announced that the pause of elective surgeries will end on February 17th. Here in Spokane, 473 new COVID cases were reported today. That's according to the Spokane Regional Health District. And due to technical issues, they were unable to report COVID hospitalizations today.
In the meantime, to the relief of many parents and children, Washington's Superintendent of Public Instruction is saying it is time to end the statewide mask mandate in schools. He released a statement today asking the governor to eliminate that mandate and allow the decision to be made by local health officials instead. Superintendent Chris Reichdahl was adamant that masks worked, but he acknowledged that we have other tools now, and he is hoping the mandate could be removed here in coming weeks.
In other Northwest news this evening, the Washington State Attorney General is asking for help finding Bessie Ann Freedom Handy. She was last seen in February of 2021 at a motel in Fife, which is just outside of Tacoma. Bessie is a member of the Puyallup tribe. Authorities say that she may have shaved or cut her hair very short and perhaps dyed it blonde.
Laser strikes are grounding numerous planes out at SeaTac. Since Monday, nearly 24 lasers have targeted the airlines. In total, 22 flights have been targeted. All were able to land safely. The lasers have come, though, from several different locations. Now, both the FAA and the King County Sheriff's Office are investigating.
All right, let's switch things up for a moment to talk weather. It was a beautiful day out there today. Dare I say even like shorts weather, perhaps?
I think lots of the kids are wearing shorts in school.
My son included.
They're certainly not wearing coats because I've tried and lost that battle at my house. The sunshine, though, it really has felt really nice. And Tom Sherry, are you wearing shorts yet?
Not a chance.
Okay.
No,
are you at least wearing a coat?
I'm wearing long pants and a coat.
Okay.
It's nice, but it's still February.
Right.
42 degrees is the current temperature. We did get up to 49 today, so I get that. That's about 11 degrees above average. The average high is 38 degrees. Winds are calm, so at least we don't have any kind of a wind chill. Look for cloudy skies increasing in the overnight hours, then becoming partly cloudy for us tomorrow. As you look at the satellite and radar picture, no rain, just the cloud cover with an overnight low of 32, 47 the expected high on your Thursday. I'll check Friday and the weekend, and then some showers early next week. That's coming up in your 10-day forecast next.
All right, well, a little bit later in the broadcast, we're talking about an almost century-long project in Spokane. Could it finally have an end date? It could if legislators can get on the same page. More on this multi-billion-dollar proposal that could impact the North-South Freeway.
Plus, later in the broadcast, more victims confronted the Freeman High School shooter today in court. We'll hear from the person that brought him to school that day. Coming up on KREM 2 News at 6.